Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Big Questions, Small Steps. My name is Amanda and I'm so glad that you could join me today. Today we are entering a new month, so we're talking about some of the new holidays that are coming up. Today we are going to talk about the holiday of Hanukkah. This is a holiday that is celebrated by people who are Jewish. Now, a caveat for this holiday that you should know of, many people will equivalate Hanukkah to the Jewish Christmas. That's not the case. It's not the case at all. A better equivalent would be Hanukkah is like the Jewish 4th of July. Yeah, it's a celebration, but it's not a huge celebration. It is known as the Festival of Lights, and it moves. Sometimes it'll happen right after Thanksgiving. Oh, rarely. It'll happen just slightly before, but it can happen anytime between Thanksgiving all the way to Christmas or even after Christmas. It fluctuates because the Jewish calendar is a lunar solar calendar, so it changes based on the phases of the moon. So in Hanukkah, it's known as the Festival of Lights. Okay, now why is it called the Festival of Lights? It's because a miracle happened, and that's what they're celebrating when they celebrate Hanukkah. Now, I may be good, but I am not good enough to tell the full story all by myself. So I happen to have a little children's book here about Hanukkah. I'm not going to read you the children's book, but at the very end, there is a story that is told about the history of Hanukkah, why we started celebrating it. So I'm going to read that to you. If you want to read the Hanukkah story, you can go ahead and check out my other YouTube channel. That one is called Snuggles and Storytime. And I do it. So yeah, Snuggles and Storytime, you can have all different kinds of kids stories on that one. And I did talk about Hanukkah, and I will talk about Christmas and Kwanzaa and all kinds of other holidays too. But today we are talking about Hanukkah. So according to this story, it says there once was a mean king named Ankydostus the fourth, who ruled over ancient Israel. He said that if you didn't pray to the Greek gods, you'd be punished, which was absolutely true. He wanted everybody to pray to his God and him as a god. This wasn't fair to the Jewish people of the kingdom, no duh. But everyone didn't necessarily obey the king. Priest Methodius and his sons joined with other Jews and fought back. One son named Judah became their leader. He was called Judah the Maccabee, and his band of fighters, or his army, was called the Maccabees. Even when the king's soldiers attacked, and they were riding on elephants to show their power and their might, make a bigger scene for themselves, they couldn't stop the Maccabees, who drove them out of Jerusalem. The Maccabees cleaned the temple from top to bottom, and they lit the menorah, which is a candle holder. And when they were lighting the menorah, they realized that the lamp that burned oil, they didn't have enough oil for it. They were supposed to have the menorah lit anytime people were praying in the temple as a sign that God was there, okay? But there was only enough oil left to burn for one day. However, the miracle was that the oil burned for 8 days and 8 nights. To remember this victory, we light candles or light oil in a special Hanukkah menorah. It's called a Hanukkah. If it has 8 holders for 8 candles, it's called a Hanukkah. Otherwise, it's a menorah. And to celebrate, they eat lots of foods in oil. So they'll eat potato pancakes called latkes. They'll eat jelly donuts known as susafan. They're delicious. They're jelly donuts. And they'll spin dreidels, and they'll give coins, which are they're gold coins wrapped around chocolate. So lots of different things to remember the joyful celebration and the miracle that there was light after all that time. Now, I said that there was a menorah that they would light, and there is. So a menorah is typically a candle holder. What makes a special menorah for Hanukkah, it's called a Hanukkah, is that there are 8 candles. Now, if you're counting this, I know that there are 9 spots, but this one is taller. This one is what they call the working candle, or the shamash. So this candle doesn't really count. Okay, this one is where you light from, and then you light from one direction and you move over. So the first night you'll have just 1 candle, second night 2 candles, and so on and so forth. Now, some people celebrate differently, and they'll light all 8 nights on the first night and every night after. When they are celebrating Hanukkah, there's a prayer that they say, and then they light the candles, and then people tend to do a lot of family things. So they will have, frequently it's called a Hanukkah hangout, kind of like a Christmas open house type thing, where you have people come over, families, they might exchange presents, they might share in yummy food like latkes, or they might play dreidel or watch movies or anything. There are also Jewish families who every night of Hanukkah, they will light their menorahs. My favorite thing that I've found so far is everyone has their own special menorah, and every night they will light their candles, and then they will go play a game or watch a movie or something, and until all the candle is burned out for that night. When that candle is burned out, then they can go back to whatever they were doing before if they choose. And it makes it a little competition how many nights there is that each menorah wins, quite unquote, as far as burning out, lasting the longest. And there are different versions that if your menorah stays lit longer, then you get a special thing for that night, whether it's a gift or it's an extra time up, whatever you choose, that's up to you. But the Hanukkah is a time to celebrate light and love and laughter and family. So that's Hanukkah. If you celebrate Hanukkah, then I wish you a happy Hanukkah, or Chag Sameach is how they say it. Have a great day, everyone.